Yeah, baby. This is my budget £40 air fryer, which, as you know, I was a little bit skeptical about when I first got it. In fact, I joked that it was a hairdryer. In fact, it isn't really a fryer, is it? It is literally a small fan oven. You're not frying anything. It's basically you're warming up instead of a huge carcass like your oven. You've got your little basket there. It's good for the environment. And as I've done recipes with it on the channel, as you've seen, well, I've kind of got to like it. So before I upgrade it to potentially a better model that can do more things, I wanted to show you 5 things that we've been making in it in our spare time that we actually really enjoy and think that they are arguably better in the air fryer. Number 1 is garlic bread. And sometimes we bodge this with not even baguettes, but just slices of bread from our bread bin. So these are just these baguettes. These are the ones that are sort of part cooked. You can get in a shop. You could just buy some standard ones that are already fully baked. And we're gonna cut into it. Now I'm just gonna be a bit cheeky and do some diagonals to make it look a little bit more fancy, but I'm not gonna cut all the way through. Yeah, Hasselback bread. So into this bowl, I've got 2 garlic cloves. This is some fresh parsley, again, shredded with a knife. I like that word, shredded. It sounds like way more exciting. And this is some softened butter. Hopefully, we should be able to just use the butter as a sort of hoover to blend it all in. Beautiful. So there we go, some garlic butter. Any sort of messy steps like that you want to add to it, like we're putting cheese on now, this is optional, bit of Parmesan. Like do this outside of the air fryer bucket. It's just, sometimes it can be a pain to clean it. So this is why they're mini baguettes, because the air fryer I've got currently is not massive. It was just bought as a bit of a, well, like I say, like a joke, but it's done well. So if you've got any suggestions on which air fryer I should get, do let me know. I want to just try and explore it a bit more. My air fryer, is already preheated to 180°. In 10 minutes, we'll have some stonking garlic bread. Remember, it cooks faster because of that small area with the heat circulating so fast. We're looking for it to be nice and browned. If you're doing it with a slice of bread, just get the bread, roll it out thin, put the filling on, and literally roll it up into like a cylinder, shove it in there. More topping on top if you want, that is good too. Yeah, baby. Oh. A good start. So number 2, this is some cauliflower bites, but you can use other vegetables such as broccoli. I think you'll like this one. And this is why I first hated the term air fryer, okay? So we've got some plain flour, salt and pepper, and some H2O, okay? So this is gonna be a batter, but it will thicken up once the flour absorbs in. That's pretty good. You want it fairly thick like that because that's where the term fryer, obviously if you're using a typical fryer, the oil's so hot it will cling and a more wetter batter would actually firm up straight away. Whereas you effectively, you put that in the oven, it's not always gonna work. So get a good texture. Yeah, so to keep it clean, I've just wrapped it in foil, but also punctured some holes in it to make the airflow still go through it. So in this bowl here, I've got some cucumber. No, that is not cucumber. This is some cauliflower. We're just gonna lift that batter. To be fair, batter is, I don't know, not the greatest term for it. It's perhaps maybe more like a dough. I do like the cauliflower steak as well. That's another thing that you can make in an air fryer. Well, there we go. We've got our lined foil there. Check that out. Yeah, the annoying thing with this one is we've got to do like the actual preheating of an air fryer, which is also important, as you guys told me. Thank you so much for that. I've got to do that manually with the bucket first and then in and out. So luckily it was still slightly warmed. I did it before we put the cauliflower in there. That is the hottest temperature, 200°, again for around about 10 minutes. Okay, they won't look too exciting right now. You see they're sort of lightly golden brown and you could eat them like that. They will be crispy. However, this is some buffalo sauce and it's going to get warmed up. Don't worry, it's going back in there, but you don't need too much. Anything with some sugar in it, so barbecue sauce, even ketchup actually, we want to get a little bit of caramelization coming through as it goes back in. Check those out. Oh yeah. Yeah. I love it. I made a batch of these for some friends that came over when we watched the rugby and they did not last long. Crispy, the heat, then the softness of the cauliflower, which of course has been cooked through. Brilliant. And the only downside is we've got a little bit of buffalo sauce on the foil, so we'll have to probably replace that. Of course, you can buy liners and things. If I wasn't doing a video, I like buffalo sauce, and tacos, which is our next one, could just join the party. In this bowl is some seasoning that smells incredible. We've got salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic pepper, paprika, chili powder, and cumin. Now, I've got to be honest, When we haven't got much time in the evenings and we want to make them in a rush, I don't always get the seasonings out like that. You'll just get some fajita seasoning or taco seasoning, something like that, which we might be using in a minute, and just shove it straight in there. It's absolutely, and to be fair, it's probably the same stuff anyway most of the time. These are some prawns, and there's a little bit of moisture on them anyway. So hopefully, and it doesn't have to be prawns, chicken, beef, vegetables, anything. Get them nice and coated. Now, something we didn't use on the cauliflower, which you can do to accelerate it if you want to speed them up, is some spray oil. And this one, we are going to cook it without the tray in there. I want to have a little bit of the seasoning left in the bottom, okay? So push that in there. So whilst that's cooking away, I can prep the other ingredients for a taco. I might shove some avocado in there. I've got some other bits and bobs in the fridge and that. And the other thing is, the reason we put no tray in there, we're going to put our actual tortilla in there with that seasoning to see if it can absorb it just as we warm it through. Ooh, baby. Oh, wow. But there's a little bit of the seasoning left. And that is where taking a tortilla, so these are the diddy ones that just about fit in there, and just rolling it around in the seasoning. You see that catches it like that? Either side. And all we're doing is warming this through. Like literally 30 seconds. And then we can serve it. Stained in the seasoning, loaded on the prawns. A bit of avocado maybe. We've got some pickled red onion, some mayo. Oh my gosh. Bit of lime juice and some chopped coriander. Nice. Oh, yes. So good. We've even got a little bit of charring on the actual tortilla itself. It's got zing, freshness, sweet, and a little bit of heat. So from one fish to another fish that isn't out of place, but is off the flavour scale. Sorry about the fish puns, but the only downside to that now, and it's quite good to show you anyway, is obviously now we've got to clean that bucket out. Shouldn't take too long, but that is obviously the benefit of wrapping it in foil or using the liners. So these are some salmon fillets that have been sat on some kitchen towel just to take any of the moisture out. I did the tops as well, put that to one side. Because we're doing teriyaki salmon. You could do this with chicken too, or other meats, and of course it's also going to have different cooking times. Soy sauce. That's a low salt one. Makes you feel slightly better about yourself. Some garlic, brown sugar, rice vinegar, some corn flour, and a shimmy of pepper. Now, it wouldn't be a Barry video if there wasn't a loophole here. So really what you would do is put some of this as a marinade, which we'll do. And then the other part you want to thicken up on the hob. However, you can thicken it in the air fryer, which means my basket's going to get a little dirty again. The rest of the salmon is going in here. Because we want to marinate this, okay? Let it sit in there. Salmon's in the fridge covered and just marinating. So what I'm saying is basically you shouldn't really do this step, but just do it over the pan. But I wanted to show you the versatility of this. We want to thicken that sauce. Shouldn't take long. At least we hope not, eh, mate? Obviously the thing doing it with the air fryer is you can't tell if it's going to burn or not. So, ooh, that has thickened up. You can see the steam coming off it actually. Yeah, that will do. That's just a gloss anyway. Beautiful. Salmon is in now, out of the marinade, skin up. And these are some green beans. Got a little bit of space, so you might as well stick them in. Something quite nice to go with the salmon. All right, in that goes, but that sauce is gonna help for the second, that's hot. The other side. Free from desire. Cooking salmon in an air fryer. So I'm carefully turning it over. You can see how that marinade stained it. Lovely. And it's quite good that it's a big piece of salmon like that, otherwise it could fall apart. Gosh, the only annoying thing, sounds like a ticking time bomb. As we can see, this sauce has thickened, and we're just gonna brush it on there. And we can do this a couple of times as it cooks. We could even add it to the green beans too, but there we go. Let's get this going. Oh yeah, timer. All right, here we go. So the first cook with the skin side is a little longer. The other side, we're just trying to get it nice and flaky and cook through. That was a big piece of salmon, mind. Oh yeah, baby. So we got that blooming timer. So I've got the green beans in there and I brushed it a couple more times as it cooked through. I'm gonna shimmy on some sesame seeds. Oh, nice. A little squeeze of lemon juice. And I still got some parsley left from a recipe earlier, so we'll just sprinkle that on. Look at that. That looks amazing, doesn't it? Honestly, I've just lifted that out of the pan. Look at that. That is incredible. Look at massive fish fingers. Well, I think they effectively are, but underneath it, hopefully, some flaky salmon. Oh, yes. Oh. Mmm. Oh, salmon's like velvet. Sweet, tang, and some beans on the side. Nice one. So the last one is enchiladas, and I would say out of the 5 that this is probably the most sort of wholesome that you could cook for a family. I mean, indeed, we have done this. Well, it's actually fajitas, but I think we can bodge it. Well, I hope we can. This is not a dustbin lid. This is our base that we have lined with foil, and I've just put about an inch high sort of barrier around the edge. And of course, you can get ready-made things that do that thing, but I just find we've got enough foil in the house. However, this is non-stick foil, so that'll sort it out. I've got some ready-cooked chicken. You could just pretty much cook the chicken in there yourself. It's definitely possible to do that. You can roast an entire chicken in an air fryer. So I'm just gonna stir around some seasoning just to get that nice and coated. I've been fed so well today. I've loved this video. Tortilla there. I think she might have been able to go slightly bigger tortillas, but these will do. This is some enchilada sauce that you can buy. This is a chunky one. They've got smooth ones. You could just use a taco one if you want. And any fillings you want in here, like go to town on it. Onions, peppers, and all that too. So a little line of the chicken. This is a tin of black beans that I've just drained off. So we'll do a little courtesy line of that along there. And I've just got a bag here of shredded 4 mixed cheese. So a nice combo going on. Ah. So all I'm gonna do is roll it up. If I can just tuck that in there. Oh baby. Oh, okay. In this one goes. The 2 on the ends I've actually folded, so they're in case, where the other ones I just rolled them straight forward, and we're left with something looking like that. Looks good, right? We'll get some more of that sauce and just brush it over the top. The great thing about this is everything is effectively already cooked, so this is really good for leftovers. Some of this cheese mix on top too. The only thing with this one, because it can catch quite quick, do not preheat it. And it's a slightly lower heat. If it does start to catch though and you're not happy with it, you could just put a bit of foil over it, but don't just put a loose sheet, otherwise it will just blow up into like the heating element. Like you need to tuck it in. Oh, you beautiful thing. That was about 9 minutes. Can we get this up like this? Yes, we can. That looks amazing. I've just put some guacamole, sour cream, fresh tomato, maybe a few herbs on top. This is a bit overkill. Like when we've made this before, it was with like mainly beef mince. We just got to this stage and had all this at the table, but hopefully you'll agree, that looks rather epic indeed. And for reference, the dog is like me. Literally where I'd put one of the tripod legs. Such a legend. But do let me know if you've enjoyed this video. I've got a real passion of finding out a lot more about pressure cookers. I think like air fryers, there's a lot more in that, but again, a lot of you have been saying about pressure cookers. That is the official way to eat an enchilada. Instant pot, that's the other thing. I think that's the same thing as a pressure cooker. There's something out of all of these recipes, this last one, where it's all fused together. There's lots of ins and outs, especially with like the salmon one, for example, whereas that, you bung it all in, the cheese and everything just brings it all together, and it's warm, it's comforting. Probably, I think the fish tacos, oh, they were all good. But as a wholesome thing for everyone to have, I think I saved the best till last, but any of those will do. And I hope you enjoy the recipes. Give them a go. If you do, send me a picture. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time. Very excited right now. Today, my super budget air fryer, Hugh and I are gonna be working our way through some recipe clones and they're gonna hopefully get progressively nicer. I'm doing this by my own personal judgment before making them, so let's get going. So what I mean by that is I've got 5 recipes, I've looked at them and gone, God, yeah, that seems like it could work, but might be actually terrible, right up to the last one, hopefully being pretty much amazing. So the first one I'm a little bit skeptical about is making donuts in an air fryer. They're supposed to be like Krispy Kreme style. There's a list of things that you shouldn't really air fry, such as wet batters. Air fryers hate that. Making donuts, normally you just dollop them in a fryer, let them cling that shape straight away because it's so hot. In an air fryer, meh. So this recipe I found is actually one where you don't need to wait for the dough to rise. There's no yeast, so it's the least sort of copycat thing I think in that regard. Do you know what I mean? Flour, sugar, salt. This is some butter, but we need to melt it. So in you go in the microwave, probably like 15-second blast, because unlike when you melt chocolate in like 30-second blast, you've got a little bit of time. Butter is just like, no, I'm splattering now. Anyhow, we'll get the Greek yogurt in. We've done this before to make sort of like bodge scones using Greek yogurt instead. And I was wondering why like Greek yogurt is like so, oh yeah, use Greek yogurt. Well, apparently, I'm just reading this here. It says it gets strained multiple times to make it super creamy. It's got a higher protein content, lower sugar and carbohydrate levels than other yogurts. The high protein and low carb content make Greek yogurt more filling, which can be helpful for those on a diet. Sorry, I found that quite interesting. I just started to use Greek yogurt quite often. I'm like, well, why? There we go. So I don't have a donut cutter. They do exist, but obviously the easiest way around it is to just get, well, a cookie cutter. And it's just a personal thing, but I do quite like sometimes just to like dunk the cookie cutter edge, the cutter bit, in flour. I just find that it just gives you like a much more true, look at that, see? Spinny, spinny, spin, and it separates it, like no stickiness whatsoever. And you probably get about 8 donuts in total out of this. So a bottle lid like this, so this is some cordial. I'm not gonna flour that because I don't wanna get flour in our drinks. Unfortunately, the capacity of Hue is quite small, so I don't feel confident putting more than 1 in at a time, which is the least fast food in every sense. However, one good thing about putting it on the baking parchment like that is that I can cut it out into individual portions for it to sit on with still plenty of airflow for it to pass around and cook or fry our donuts. All right, so we're just gonna get Hue on 180C, just preheating for a little bit. I think most things don't need to be preheated in an air fryer, but with dough like that, I wanna give it the best chance I can. So while Hue is just warming up, our butter comes into play and we can brush the tops. The recipe I'm following doesn't tell me to like add like cinnamon sugar or something like this now, but there's nothing stopping you sprinkling a little bit actually onto the donut surface now. So it sort of bake. Oh, it's starting to say bakes again. Barry, you only fry in an air fryer. How dare you? And like I say, look, I can fit 1 in. And every second counts there. Get in there, my friend. Now, unfortunately, Hue doesn't have a window, so I can't see what's going on, but I'm gonna trust the process. It says 6 minutes, and I'll have donuts. I don't know how puffed up they'll be. This is why I'm putting this recipe first. I think it's a little bit skeptical. I don't mind a baked donut, but is it really a donut if it's not fried? I don't know. Just whilst that is frying though, we can make our glaze. This is gonna be quite a basic one. Icing sugar, that's some vanilla extract, and I'm gonna add splashes of milk just gradually. Oh, that is beautiful. I'm not going to add any more to that because as it settles, it should firm up a little bit. Nice, that's our glaze. Right, I've got to be honest, I've no idea what these are going to look like. I've got a baking tray here with a wire rack so we can get our glaze to just kind of settle once we dunk. I've got 3 more pineapple rings of donutness in anticipation waiting. And about 1 minute left on that air fryer and it should hopefully beep any minute now. It does smell really buttery right now. Oh, I have no idea what this is going to look like. Oh, well, it looks like a donut. There's butter inside the hole there, just sort of like bubbling away. It does smell so buttery. And there was like a scone recipe that was literally the same as that, which is why I'm so skeptical about this. But icing sugar can mask most things. Doesn't look very appealing, does it? But we'll dunk it in, over like that. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's a bit better. If you shimmy some decorations on, you've made your donut look pretty darn awesome. It's amazing how much nicer and appealing. I mean, you do eat with your eyes, right? Well, I've never understood that phrase. You definitely eat with your mouth, but look at it. I think that looks really, really cool. So this is obviously not a true clone of a Krispy Kreme donut. They don't use Greek yogurt. They'll probably use eggs in their mixture, for example, but it smells good. Mmm. There is the tang of the yogurt slightly. It gives it like a little zing, you know? It is actually quite fluffy too. But I thought this was gonna be the worst recipe, but it's okay. And plus, because of the base recipe, we didn't need to let it prove or rise or anything. That's actually a really good start. I wanted to hate that. I think I hate the principle and the theory of it, but as a thing, okay, I'm quite impressed actually. Maybe I should have done this one first. This is weird. Because we're actually gonna make a drink, because I just prop Hue up, there we go. In the air fryer. Pumpkin spice latte? So silly. Now I was going to get a big mug here that I could pour into a smaller one, but this is my standard smaller mug. And even that, with the basket out of it, might be too small. Yeah, I was going to get this mug because it actually says on the bottom, dishwasher and microwave safe. Doesn't say air fryer safe for some reason. But instead we've got this little dainty mug here. And that will be okay. Yeah, even as I've started doing these steps, I'm like, yeah, this definitely should have been the worst one first up. So this is some cold milk. So it's 3 parts milk to 1 part brewed coffee, vanilla. This is some pumpkin puree. I'm only going to put in like maybe a teaspoon, but you can put in a lot more. Sweeten it with some sugar if we want. I'm definitely going to do that. It looks kind of latte-ish at the moment. It's got a nice little pumpkin hue to it. I mean, obviously it's just brown. I don't know where I get that from, but anyhow, this is some pumpkin spice. Bought this in the shop. It's just past Halloween, so it was on offer. They never used to sell it in the shop. Halloween stuff's getting crazy. I saw a car wash the other day that had pumpkin spice foam. Can't wait for Christmas when they do a turkey flavoured one. Anyhow, let's try and do this from here. Oh, wow. Okay, this is working. This is working. I've just got to delicately, come on. Oh, I'm just waiting. There's going to be some sort of kick, isn't there? Oh, this bit, I need to push it gently. So if you forgive me, we are now about to air fry a latte. Okay, I've just Googled it and the ideal temperature for coffee to be brewed at is between 91 and 96C. How low did this go again? Ooh, we can do 95C. Yes, Hugh. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Well, get a load of that spillage in there. And actually, to be fair, yep, that is, ow, that is really hot. It does smell blooming good though, I'll give it that. We've just got to get it out of here without burning our hands. Oven gloves in. Oh my word. Yep. And the shelf of hue that was not used has become a very cool platform right there now. That actually does look. That looks all right. Oh, some more pumpkin spice sprinkled on. Cheeky little thing that. Why do I not hate this again? It's ridiculous. Don't do this. Ooh, oh, that's lovely. It's worked, it's brewed it. I mean, ultimately we've just warmed it, but I can't say it hasn't worked. Obviously we're restricted by the mug height and yeah, right, next one. We're supposed to be getting better and these two have been all right. This one might fail. From one Starbucks clone to another one, which we're gonna have to adapt and it will mean the recipe is way faster. So we're going to try and clone a lemon loaf, a Starbucks one. Now this is the American version of the lemon loaf. The icing finish is slightly different. That is really not my priority right now, but what is important, this is the air fryer bucket from Hugh. This is Alan, my other air fryer, which is slightly larger. And this is one of 4 different loaf tins that I've got and they're all the same size. That ain't gonna fit. Now luckily, I have lots of mini ones. And one of those, just about, no, 2 won't go in. We're gonna make, potentially now, the world's first mini Starbucks clone lemon loaf pound cake in an air fryer, all right? So I might have way too much batter. And also the cooking time could get really confused. There is an air fryer playlist though if you like videos like this, so do check it out at the end of the video. But I do like that we've sort of got this margin for error. I wanted to say margarine for error, but that's butter. So we're gonna cream it together with sugar. Looks like mashed potato. Salt, bicarb soda, vanilla. Instead of milk, it's telling me to add in sour cream or Greek yogurt again. I found that really interesting, all that Greek yogurt facts. I was like, yeah, we just just stick Greek yogurt in, but why? And now I'm just thinking, is that yogurt from Greece or is that just the name of it? Bit of lemon zest, flour, egg. Which combined looks like that. Right, just a classic cake batter. I've definitely got enough to probably have at least 2 more attempts at this. So as we're air frying a batter or air baking, we're air baking. I do believe that we should preheat those ones. So 170C, in it goes. The final 2 recipes we're doing are savoury and they involve meats. For the area that is, I don't think preheating is as important for that. But for like the donuts, for that instant heat to try and give it some rise, for the batter in a cake, I want to help it as best I can. And I don't know if we're actually going like progressively worse. The final 2 are going to be good, I promise. So just while that's cooking, thanks to everyone that's filled out the survey so far. I'm going to close it soon, but if you've not had a chance to fill it out yet, it takes about 1 minute. There's a link in the pinned comment description. There should be a card here. I'd massively appreciate your input. Cheers. So let's make the icing. It's just basically icing sugar, a bit more lemon zest, some of the lemon juice as well. A nice thick icing to give it that sort of stereotypical frosting look on the top. Oh, sorry, I just moved my camera and that is done. Just really relaxed, quite nice. Although, I haven't opened this yet. Ooh! It's browned onto, oh, it looks very battery underneath. Oh don't know. That's come out clean, but oh no, it's a little wet at the bottom. No. Loaf cakes. I don't know what it is for me, loaf cakes. Out of all the things I've ever baked, sometimes the most temperamental, they're like, yeah, that's fine. But it's quite a lot of height in there. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. Because the colour on the top is nice. See, it's not ideal taking it in and out like that, but this is new. I'm just trusting the timings. If I get it right, I'll do a recipe write-up if you want to try it. But remember, this is for a mini loaf tin. But it's still going to be very similar to a larger one, just because of that surface area. I don't want a medium rare lemon loaf, and I don't think Starbucks would want you eating one either. Uh-oh, I think Hugh, my 20-pound air fryer, is starting to fail. It's been 5 minutes. I set the timer a little higher than that to give me a bit of slack. I'm trying to pause it. Can I just turn it off? I can. It's still going. No. Come on, Hugh. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Oh, okay. I think I can get around that by taking it down to 1 minute duration. Imagine that, like out of all this, it's the air fryer that is the biggest fail. Come on, Hugh. You can hear the silence. Hugh decided to turn off the 1 minute timer, so I need to basically get my timings perfect going forwards. Oh, now look at that batter. It's even gone even higher there. I feel like that was the uncooked stuff. Doesn't look too pretty, but I think the story of this video so far is icing is hiding the damage. Come on, oh, that does feel a lot softer. Right, let's try and get this out and ice it. Oh, this is looking promising. And I think I will just give it a haircut. Yes, get rid of that extra bit there. Yep. Now, if it was raw by now, we would have batter coming out underneath it. I'm talking from experience of Sunday afternoons baking cakes with my kids. Dad, how's the banana bread doing? Yeah. And what did I just say? Look. Ah! No! It's failed. It wasn't cooked through still. Damn you, loaves. Right, we'll go again. It will mean the recipe is way faster. Damn it. Well, I reckon we might have to really push it to 35 minutes. Way faster. About 15 minutes, we should have that brown lid, foil going back on for another 20 minutes to really warm it through. And even then, look, there's this like little pocket. It's quite far in there still, look. You wouldn't want that. Just to say, after 10 minutes, look, we've got that gorgeous brown top again and that wave. I reckon that is the fan doing that. So foil on and 20 minutes at least. And this now is gonna be beyond the baking time for a large tin. Way faster. Anyhow, while that's been cooking, I moved on to my next one. And this is something that actually is a personal favorite of mine that, I mean, to be fair, I've not researched it, but this is my own little idea to do. I bloomin' love a McDonald's rib. In fact, they are actually available right now in the UK. This is a genuine story. I actually went and bought a McRib the other day and filmed it. Yeah, do you sell the McRibs yet?
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want that as a meal or on its own?
Just on its own. I actually don't know why. I was like, yeah, I'll just buy this and film it and then I'll do something with it. I was thinking maybe doing a giant McRib perhaps, but I bought it. So I've got like a McRib box and I put it in my freezer. Look, this is absolutely legit. This is a frozen McRib. But they've had some pretty negative reviews. Basically, one of the complaints was that they don't cook it fully drenched in the barbecue sauce. We can get over that. The other was that the patty didn't seem to have the indents what the McRib stereotypically did. So whilst that's been cooking away, just a minute ago, I took some pork mince that I'd sort of mixed together with a little bit of seasoning and shaped it. Now that's gone back in the fridge just to firm up and set so we can cook it in there once our cake is been well done. But as for this, if you guys have got any, maybe I should just, I was saying to Patreon, maybe I should just keep hold of this. Go to a McDonald's like when they don't do McRibs again and be like, yeah, I just bought this, but something doesn't taste right about it and see what their reaction. Or like I say, I could use it as like a benchmark for making a giant McRib, which would probably be my dream video if I'm being honest. So with a McRib, you have an onion. You also have that classic McDonald's gherkin, but that's just a sliced pickle really. But the onion doesn't get cooked either. It literally has raw, longer pieces of onion like that. Well, it did in originally. My example of the latest batch is cryogenically frozen. That's a strong onion. Ooh, getting emotional over my McRib. Yeah, there we go. There's some gherkins as well, straight from a jar. And we will actually try and toast the buns in the air fryer too. So with this barbecue sauce and the shaped patties that are now locking in to kind of hold their shape, we're just waiting on our lemon cake. Okay, I don't know if it's just fear now, but I've given it another 5 minutes. I've not even opened the door, so that's probably a good thing as well with the heat loss. I mean, if it fails, we've got to front up to it and be like, well, that's the whole point. Perhaps that should have been first on the progressively getting better. Because right now, based on our success rate, I could really eat an air fried donut. I've just had to turn Hugh off at the wall because the timer went to 0 and just kept going. That bodes well, doesn't it? However, if this is not done, you could probably have made a roast dinner in this nearly entire time there. Ooh, ooh, that is way darker on the top. I feel like I said this about 45 minutes ago. Way faster. You can hide anything with icing. That is much more drier. Yes. But just before I do turn it, there's me McRib bun, or one of them. Hopefully I'll just need the one. Going 15 minutes. I can't stop it at all. Hugh, if this is the last time we see you, and it is starting to smell a bit of factory. Come on now. Yeah, look at the colour, it's way darker. One thing that sometimes happens when I bake loaf cakes, you might notice in a minute, some batter falling out. I'm confident with this one. All right, I'm taking those out now because I don't want to bake the whole thing. I still want to keep it fairly soft, but you can see it's got light toasting on there. I've had to add a little bit more lemon juice to this to try and revive it. But look, it's all like bumpy and horrible, especially that side, look. Let's just get that on there. Oh. I gotta be fair, it looks pretty cool. But meanwhile, I have taken, this is the smallest one, but I don't know how much it's gonna shrink. About 20 minutes. We wanna cook it through. I'm hoping it shrinks a little bit to fit our sub roll. Like I say, if not, we can trim it off a little bit and get around that. It's kind of like the savory version of our icing. All I wanted to see is a baked, cooked through cake. And I did say baked, because we have. Let's try it. I'm so glad I redid that. That's really good. Unfortunately, due to the size of the air fryer, is restricted to the size of the tin, so perhaps the oven would have been more efficient in that case, with the baking time being pretty much the same. But that was well worth the wait. Wow. Okay, look. Ooh, nice sizzle, Hugh. Gonna take that out. Ugh. Look at the colour on that. And this was one of the things that people were complaining about, right? The McRib that's come back, it looks like it's just brushed with barbecue sauce rather than actually cooked in it. We've got the perfect platform for that. And get a load of this. Look, if I just fully coat it, see with the sugar content in barbecue sauce, it's not going to take long to warm this up, but I want to submerge it. Very excited right now. So let's go for 5 minutes. The pork's kind of covered, so hopefully it won't brown too much more, but it's going to warm through, take on those flavors. And on a personal note, this really should be my favorite today. All right, that is a drenched McRib patty there. And I was mulling over going, oh, do I make it a bit smaller? Do I slice it? But I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go all out like that. Oh my word. It's fitted it perfectly. Couple of pickles and then some of the raw onion, not much. I was going to wipe that little blob of barbecue sauce, but I realised I don't think it matters because like it wants to run down anyway. Look at that. A homemade McRib in an air fryer. I just tried to take a picture for my thumbnail holding all this and it all nearly spilled over. I don't know if I captured that. Oh. Actually, I think the gherkins and the onions play a role. They kind of give it some crunch. I love how I've actually got a genuine one in my freezer. And that barbecue sauce is just cloaked and actually was still quite warm. The patty, which is not too thick. You need to make sure, like when you make homemade burger, don't make it like too thick, otherwise it's gonna be really heavy. Oh, good. And that was really easy. I just ate that McRib. That was generally my very late lunch. That was absolutely delicious. So I thought I was going to leave the best till last. On a personal note, that was definitely, I don't think I'm going to peak that. However, I know so many of you guys love Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supremes. This is how you can make one in an air fryer. And Hugh's bucket, it could be the last time we use it. Except this time we're cooking the meat first and it's the star of the show. Genuine air fryer oil, we've talked about that before. I definitely feel like there's a way that you could improve an air fryer like this where you make all your prep in it, but it's got like another liner or something that you can just remove or that you just pull out so that you do this, but you're, I don't know, like not damaging it or something. I'm hoping to get like some sort of crazy Doc Brown moment where it comes to me in the night. This is some taco seasoning. You can buy this in shops ready mixed like this. But if you've got a lot of spices in your cupboard, you could probably make it yourself. And I think the reason that I picked this one first, or last, as the case may be, was that I think actually it's probably potentially the most impressive for the least amount of work. It's quite simple. Just while that's finishing up, I'm a little bit worried about the tortillas. We'll come on to that in a minute. We've just got some lettuce. It's got some sour cream from before. Tomato that we're just gonna cut. It's all just like rough and ready garnish to go on it. And I think that's why I like this. Kind of like the McRib as well. There's no frying pan or anything like that. We're doing it all in the air fryer. Boom. Oh, that looks so good. I could just grab a spoon and eat that. This is a large tortilla. Large tortillas. Now, I'm almost positive these were bigger pretty much 6 months ago. I don't know what's going on. That is not a large tortilla. But whilst we've got some flavor in there, I'm gonna push that tortilla in there just for a minute. We don't want to push it too long, otherwise it'll bake and stay in that shape. But I'm only going to do it one side, which is going to be the inside of the wrap. So it's going to warm through a little bit of that flavor on there for like a minute. That will literally do. But what it's done, and what we can also do, is work around where the seasoning was. And look, that flavor on the wrap. I mean, some people might say that's fat, and those people could be right, but there's a little bit of flavor in there. Definitely some taco seasoning. We've got the beef. This is a 4-cheese mix. Now this goes on. There's that sour cream back, which I wonder if that will help hold these together. The lettuce, tomatoes. And I guess this is one positive. The last thing that goes on is cheese, which you can kind of use as a sort of filler to cloak everything and give it a nice, fairly flat edge. And if it's exposed in any way, it might melt and fuse together. Let's just see though if we can get any sort of fold on this. It's not bad. It's a little full actually, guys. Oh no, it's oh no, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. If I just try and give it a little bit of force to hold its shape. You know what? There's different variations of this, and you can, of course, put in a mini disc like this to give you some slack. So let's do that. Oh, there we go. Fold it like that. Oh my gosh. Has that held together? It's trying to burst out. This is, no, it's not too bad actually. It's just whether if I drop that in there like that, is that gonna, oh yeah. Okay, we're good. And we'll go again to warm it through and firm up this time that tortilla to potentially lock and fuse all those ingredients together. So a couple of minutes in there. If not, I've got a mountain of ingredients sat down there going, is there any chance I could be in the crunch wrap? No. But that, oh, you can hear it's firmed up too, so it should have locked that in place. Nothing seems to have fallen out. Oh, it does feel really rigid. Look at that. Hey, you've done it. Good work, mate. Oh, do one of those like Instagrammy things. Oh yeah. Oh, that is amazing. The cheese is gooey, but then you hit this actually sour cream that's like still like, oh, that's quite cool. Crunch of the lettuce, the punch of the tomatoes, the tangy beef, the tostada, or basically bit of corn, the hardy crunchy part. Nice. But the heat wrapped around it, encasing it all together. Oh, I love that you could cook the meat in the air fryer, take it out, absorb some of that flavour with the tortilla and warm that through, build it and then cook it back in there all in one motion. And for me, that's kind of like what's so impressive about that. So these recipes were supposed to get progressively better, but I think I've got a new order now. If I was to rank them, the worst would probably be the latte. It was kind of like, what's the point? Second would be that loaf. We were restricted with space. The baking time was almost as long as an oven would be. The donuts are pretty good. They were warm, they were fluffy like donut-like in that regard, but still slightly cakey. I think in joint first place is the McRib, which I can't show you because I've eaten it. But the crunch wrap was pretty good too. Both that methodology that you could pretty much use the entire air fryer, which is not the whole point of them, don't get me wrong, but I love that simplicity. So that's the order. If you want to try any of the recipes, I'll write them all up on the website, so do check them out. If you enjoy the air fryer videos, I've got a whole air fryer playlist. It goes on for quite a while now, so do check it out if you wish. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.